Hey, I am Dr. Torian Salary of Keynote Prep. And today, just for a little while, I want to talk to you about filler words. What are they? Why do we say them? What are some thoughts that your audience has when we use them? And so on and so forth. So you know what? Let's get started. What exactly is a filler word? Well, a filler word is any word, really noise or phrase, that we use in the absence of a pause. Anytime that we're talking and our body needs a break, our voice needs a break. Anytime our brain needs a break because we've got to think of the next thing that we want to say, but we aren't comfortable with the silence. We don't like that awkward pause in noise, and so what we typically do is throw out a filler word. Some of the most common filler words, you know them, you hear them, you probably use them, let's be honest. Words like so, like, as, right. All of these and more are common words that people use to feel. That's where we get the root word from, filler word, feel a gap, a space, or some silence. And so these are words that we go to when we need that moment. Now, here's the question that you've got to ask yourself. Because some people may say, well, they're not really that bad. If you just sprinkle them here and there, they're not really a big deal, right? Maybe the audience doesn't really pick up on them. But here's what we have to ask ourselves. What exactly is the audience thinking of when they hear the speaker constantly use we'll just use for example. If I say 300 times between now and the end of this video, what exactly would you think? What would your impression of me be if you constantly hear I'll tell you a couple of things that audiences may think of. Number one, they may think that you're unprepared. That's a no-brainer. That's a given. They may think that you're very nervous, that you're scared, you're frightened. They may think that you're making up your content. They may think that you're not prepared. They may think that perhaps you were prepared, but you forgot all of the words you wanted to say, and so now you're making up stuff on the fly. And so these things and more are impressions that your audience creates. And the sad commentary, the sad part about that is your audience's perception is reality. We've heard that phrase before. So it's whatever your audience thinks is really what's real to them. So when it comes to filler words, we've got to be mindful not to use so many. Really, if we can get away with none, that would be better. But it takes some time, it takes some work, it takes some effort, it takes some practice. But if we can get it down to very few filler words in our talk, it can eliminate all of those things that I just named that your audience may be thinking. So how do we get rid of a filler word? Well, listen, I'm so glad that you asked me. Here's one of the single most effective, easiest ways to get rid of a filler word. It's so easy, it's going to feel like it's not real. When it comes to getting rid of a filler word, all you really have to do is pause. Did you catch that? Did you catch what I just did? All you have to do is pause. Why, Dr. Salary? Well, listen, again, a filler word is just a moment where you need to think of what you want to say next. Instead of thinking and quietly thinking of what I want to say next, sometimes I fill that space with an and all that's doing is buying me time to think. So how do I get rid of it? Just remove the and take that time to think. Can I ease your mind just for a second? Listen, what may feel like an eternity to you when it comes to the pause is really like a half of a second to your audience. Test me on that. Try it and see if what I'm saying is not true. When I'm pausing, it might feel like forever to me. It's really not long to my audience. Here's another thing you've got to be comfortable with. Your audience would certainly appreciate the fact that you took some time to form the words, to think of what you want to say. If I notice that you're pausing and I know that means you're thinking, As an audience member, I'm grateful. I am appreciative because I know whatever you're about to say is going to be amazing because you're taking the time to think about it. Versus if every second you're spitting out stuff and there's a whole lot of ums, that's going to come across as you're making this up on your fly, on the spot or on the fly. Can I give you one last thing? Watch this. When you are constantly adding filler words, again, just for kicks and giggles, let's stick with the When you are constantly adding the filler word like your audience is going to start, the brain is powerful, by the way, so the brain in the audience is going to start focusing on what does not belong in that sequence. What do I mean? If I put together a beautiful, professionally sounded, eloquent sentence, but there were 55 ums in there, then your brain is going to turn off what it's supposed to hear and start to latch on to that's not supposed to be in there. And what are those things that your brain is going to latch on to? The ums, the ahs, the likes, the so's, and whatever your go-to filler word is. The more that I use them, subconsciously you're going to start to almost count. Oh, here's another oh, he said again. Oh, that's number 13 in the last 10 seconds. And so if you're so hyper focused on counting the number of ums, guess what you're not focusing on? The actual good content that I put together for you to hear. That's not your fault. That's my fault as a speaker, because I'm giving you so many other things to focus on, aka the filler words, that I shortchanged you, for lack of better words, on the content that you really needed to hear. So I'm hopeful that this video was very helpful and useful to you, and challenge yourself this day, not even this week, not even this month. Challenge yourself this day that the rest of the day you become much more mindful of removing all of those filler words. And how do I do those again, Dr. Salary? Anytime you are putting together a sentence, work in some of those pauses so that you have time to think of what you want to say, and then you can proceed. Hey, listen, if you found this video to be useful, I need you to do me a favor: like, comment, subscribe, share, but most importantly, visit us at keynoteprep.com. I'm Dr. Salary. I'll see you in the next video. Take care.